Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Splash at Home webinar exclusive. My name is Pete Richardson. I am part of the Splash education team. Today, I will serve as a moderator on this journey through this webinar space. And trust me, as you'll see momentarily, you're going to be in very good hands. The title of today's webinar, as you can see on the screen, is the virtual event page Touchpoint. It is something that I am so excited about. We've been excited about internally for a long time. We can't wait to release it to the masses. Joining me today are two of my friends from the Splash product team, Perry and Mike. Perry and Mike, please say hello to the fans.
Hey there, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
And it looks like they've been not invited me on their, I guess, a trip to Bali or somewhere exotic. So we'll have to talk about that on Slack. But for now, I want to make sure that I introduce these two wonderful people to everybody. And Perry has actually been a Power Splash user for a number of years, even before she started working at Splash. So we kind of had to steal her over and bring her over to the dark side because she was so good at it. And, you know, she basically is part of the product operations team. She makes sure that we create the best possible product in the most efficient way possible. And if she is not killing it on the Splash team internally, she's usually found probably just doodling New Yorkers on the subway or celebs on the red carpet. She is an excellent Instagram follow. You can trust me on that. Our other host is my main man, Mike. Mike Siegel is our senior product manager here at Splash. He has been with the team since 2018, but he has been involved in the tech space for well over a decade at this point. He is a pro's pro. If he is not involved in Splash, he is going to be found either playing soccer or blogging about technology on his own time. And he is also a champion kickball player. So if you ever walking around the blacktops around NYC city parks, make sure to kind of keep your head on swivel because the kid can boom his kicks. So with that, again, I'm really excited about this new feature. I think it's going to be an amazing part of our tool moving forward, and I'm really excited to hear these two professionals talk about it. So Mike and Perry, feel free to take it away.
Thanks so much, Pete. Hi, everyone. As Pete mentioned, I'm Mike, and I'm excited to talk about our new virtual event page here at Splash. There are some great tools out there to help you run a successful virtual event, just like this webinar that we are all currently on, which is powered by On24. But there are three ways that these standalone tools fall short. They don't provide that on-brand experience we crave. They don't allow us to know who exactly is in the room. They don't keep all of our data connected. And this is why, for the last couple of months, we've been working to better support our customers to allow them to provide a secure, on-brand virtual event experience. We call this Splash Virtual. And the engine that powers it is our new virtual event page Touchpoint. It ensures that every part of the guest experience is completely branded. Kind of like this, or this, or this. But Splash Virtual doesn't stop there. We also make sure that the technology you've already invested in, the tools in like On24 that I mentioned earlier, don't go to waste. And that's why we've built native integrations with key webinar technology to sync registration data. It's also why you can embed streaming services and engagement platforms directly into a Splash page. But how do you provide your guests with the best experience from viewing an invitation to guest registration to joining the virtual event, all while keeping this data connected? That's why we're all here today. The engine that powers it all is our new Touchpoint, the virtual event page. In the next couple of minutes, I'm going to walk you through our guest experience, a virtual event powered by Splash, and Perry will walk you through how to set it up with the virtual event page Touchpoint. So let me share my screen. As you can see here, I have a beautiful splash page that most of you are probably familiar with. I'm going to click RSVP, and I can collect the data that we seek, such as job title. I'm going to RSVP, and I'm going to jump over to my email box where I receive a confirmation that provides me with a unique URL, so you, the host, knows exactly who is coming to your event. When I click this link, I receive a personalized invitation welcoming me to the event, and then I may check in. And when I check in, there's a Splash favorite, Zach, performing his virtual event. Hi, Zach. Awesome. And on that note, I'm going to end my screen share and kicking it over to my favorite Splash employee, Perry.
Thank you so much, Mike. You're my favorite too. All right. So I'm gonna hop over, make sure I'm sharing my screen here. All right, so I'm so excited to walk everyone through just how simple it is to set up this entire guest journey. So the spoiler alert here is that we've really taken a lot of the heavy lifting off of your plate to make this flow as seamless and automated as possible. You'll see what I mean as soon as we dive in. So right now, I've created a splash page just as I normally would, and I'm here on the event overview. If you're a Power Splash user, you're probably pretty familiar with this screen already, which displays all of the different touch points of your event or the pieces of your event that your guests can interact with. Right off the bat, you're going to see a brand new touch point here called the virtual event page. This is really the home of your gated content and where your registered guests will check in order to access it. So popping right in here, you'll notice some pretty familiar parts of Splash, as well as some brand new functionality. First, we're going to walk through our different page states located in the upper left-hand corner here. Now, these correspond to the different moments that a guest interacts with your virtual event. So beginning here with the pre-event state, this is what registered guests will see if they happen to access their unique check-in link before the event starts. You can almost think of it like a branded waiting room. Speaking of branding, you'll notice that on every page state, our classic layout tree exists here, full of different elements and different design controls. Now, off the bat, we're going to dynamically pull in your event's fonts and colors to deliver you a really solid start. However, if you want to push this one step further, you do have the ability to make some design tweaks. So for example, I'm thinking of having a really nice background that my main man, Nick, on our marketing team spun up. So I'm going to go ahead to page, and I'm going to go ahead and upload that beautiful background. Awesome, right? And I think I'm going to probably make this text just a little bit bigger here. Beautiful. All right, so moving on to our check-in state. This state appears 30 minutes before your event start time, and your registered guests will be able to check themselves in early and get comfortable for the content. You'll notice here my event's happening in quite some time, so don't worry about the 166 minutes there. But the best part, like Mike mentioned, is that the check-ins here are passed right into the Splash guest list. And if you have any integration set up with us, we'll pass those right into your CRM of choice. Keep in mind that check-in will be open for your registered guests until you decide to unpublish your event page. Now moving on here to our already checked-in state. So let's say I, as Perry, happen to share my unique check-in link with, let's say, our friend Pete from earlier, and he tried to check in. He would see this already checked-in state, which prompts him to register for the event himself and obtain his own unique check-in link. This is super important when we talk about having truly gated content. This means one unique guest per one unique URL. So finally here, we're going to get into the during events state. This is where your virtual content will live and will be accessible to guests who have checked in. So when it comes to inserting your content, you'll see this prompt to add your embed code. Clicking this is going to reveal two options, custom embed and Vimeo. Now, embed is just a term for putting something into your website, and embed code is just a block of basic HTML code that a variety of video providers make really easily accessible to you. For this use case, we really highly recommend using providers such as Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Vimeo Livestream, and Twitch. So for this example here, I'm just going to go ahead and show you how I quickly grab the embed code from a provider like YouTube Live. So this is one of my favorite live streams that happens to have been streaming since February, which is pretty wild. These lo-fi hip-hop beats that I love to work to. So you'll notice here, I just click share. YouTube has this embed option, and I'm simply going to copy that and paste it right in here. Pretty easy, right? Now, earlier in Mike's example, you saw he had Vimeo Livestream on his page. We built this really nifty tool that allows you to simply copy and paste the video ID, and we'll go ahead and generate the custom embed code on your behalf. So keep on the lookout as we continue to add more options here. All right, so now that we've gone ahead and went through these different page states, now we're going to talk about how exactly Mike as a guest received his unique check-in link. And one quick note I just want to mention actually before I move on here that I think is really important and special about this experience. So the scheduling of these page states is completely automated based on the event start time that you set when you created your event, and it's editable anytime from the event settings tab. So the translation there really is that your guests are going to see the right experience depending on when they access your unique link relative to your event start time. Pretty cool. All right, so now I'm going to pop over into Splash's email sender. This is my favorite part of Splash. Now, you'll notice I already started creating a reminder email for my guests. And I'm planning to schedule this email for 30 minutes before my event starts to my attending quick list. Now, I've already crafted the copy here, but I'm going to make a few small tweaks. Specifically, I set this button CTA to be check-in now, as you can see here. And now comes the really, really crucial piece, which is including what we call a personalization tag. In this case, virtual event URL. This is what's going to generate a guest's unique check-in link. So if you remember earlier, Mike clicked his email and he opens up his unique link that was specific to him as a guest. So no worries if you forget this exact syntax when you're creating an email. We have this really nice little personalization tag glossary available to you here at any time where you can grab this virtual event URL tag. Now, as a team, we're working on more ways beyond just email to get this unique link to your guests. For example, inserting it into the calendar attachment for the event. But for now, email reminders are really your best bet for making sure your guests can check in and see the event. We recommend really frequent email reminders, 1 week, 1 day, and 30 minutes prior. And our email scheduling functionality makes it really easy to just set it and forget it. All right. So there we have that. I'm going to pop back over to the slides here. So in that really short amount of time, we've just created a branded waiting room for early guest arrivals. We've enabled guests to check themselves in after being personally greeted. We've kept our brand integrity strong throughout the entire live stream. And we've secured this content to registered guests only, which is huge. And we've synced all of this data back to our CRM and marketing automation systems. And the best part about that entire thing is that this entire process all took place within a single splash page, which is really pretty incredible. All right, I'm going to pass it over to Pete now.
Oh, man. Fantastic work, both of you. I think this is just so well presented, and I think it's getting people really excited. We definitely had some questions kind of come in throughout the presentation there in the last 20 minutes. So I think we can do those. I think some of them are definitely answerable. I think a few of them we might have to potentially follow up with you on email in the future. But I think the first one to kind of kick us off, and this is up to you guys, whoever wants to answer this, feel free to kind of speak up here. But the first one that was asked is, I'd like to sell tickets to my virtual event. Will this solution still work?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. I happen to be a ticketing guru, obsessed with our ticketing solution that we have here. So this solution does in fact work with ticketing. Assuming each ticket holder has an email address, we will send a unique confirmation email to each guest that contains a unique guest link. So yes, you're able to sell tickets to this gated content, which is awesome.
Definitely exciting. Yeah. I think, our users are different. A lot of people either in the world of kind of ticket sales or just stay with, just general RSVP registration. So that's really awesome that it kind of is fully automated in that regard. I think the next question is actually, answerable as well. The user said, are there ways to templatize email reminders with live stream information?
For sure. We have a really nifty way in Splash for you to create email templates. Goes out to your theme so that they're really easily reusable from event to event. In this case, we really strongly encourage creating those reminder emails in that sequence that I laid out earlier, and making sure that that virtual event URL tag is included in each of them and saving it as a template. So this is a really surefire way that your team can make sure that guests are getting their unique links and that you have streamlined communication throughout the life cycle of the event.
Very cool. Okay, cool. So I'm still learning too internally here at Splash, but I know we're able to embed kind of a lot of different videos, especially when it comes to kind of Vimeo and YouTube. Is there a future that you see where we start to explore embedding other options, a GoToWebinar, a Zoom, really anything that has an embeddable link? Is there an opportunity there?
Oh, I'll go ahead and answer. Wasn't sure if Mike was popping in. Yes, there's definitely a future. The beauty of our custom embed option is that it does support a variety of different providers who provide embed codes on their videos. We are exploring the ability to embed Zoom meetings here. We've seen that's a really popular use case too, so we're working on ironing out the user experience on that side. But definitely feel free to share with us what providers you all are using and which you find to be beneficial. And, we'll of course, be happy to take the research from there.
Nice. Okay. So we have a couple more questions. We have plenty of time. So Mike, if I could kind of have you jump in here. Hopefully this is a softball or kickball in your state. Let's say, as a product manager, what's been the most exciting challenge to solve with kind of this project overall?
That's a good question. I think for me so far, it's been prioritizing which embeds we want to support natively. And the most challenging thing technically has been to ensure that we can have gated content, a secure way to manage your content.
Nice. Okay, so that kind of feeds into this next question. This person just said, they said, thank you for making this so easy. So a little praise for the team. That's good. They kind of discussed what's first on the roadmap for taking this Touchpoint to the next level. Is there any kind of plans in the future for what's the next thing we want to plan to tackle?
So on the immediate roadmap, we want to ensure this is as easy as to set up as possible. So we are developing best practices, such as when to send reminder emails to ensure this is as easy as possible for the guests to attend the event. And we want to make that as easy as possible for the host to set up. So that is what we are working on as we speak. And then what would you like to add, Perry, following that right after?
Yeah, I think we'd like to, like I mentioned earlier, really iron out that Zoom embed and make sure that's, as clear cut as possible. Because we know how popular that can be for our customers. So that would be next up there.
And then another thing I'm really excited about, which we can do now, which is to support this content in an evergreen context. So allowing people to easily keep these events, this content forever, and to always understand who is consuming this content. So we can do that now very easily, but we want to work with our integrations team so those videos can also experience the embed experience.
Very cool. Okay. And to clarify the kind of, let's go back to kind of the Touchpoint in general. There are a couple different questions related to this, which is this Touchpoint going to be specific to like specific themes or specific users, or is this Touchpoint going to be able to be utilized for any event moving forward when it's released?
This will be available on any event, even events that you have created already.
Oh, great. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
all right, that's good.
Just to add to that, we wanted to build it that way because we, with everything going on in the world right now, we know that a lot of events that were already in motion might now need to, turn over to virtual or perhaps become hybrid events. So we just wanted to make sure that our customers had, the easiest way to convert an existing event to be virtual.
Awesome. Very cool. Man, we're getting hit with a flood of questions. This is awesome. I can probably take this one. So this is from the Burton team, some of our best friends up north in the Northeast. They asked, can you give more details on how to brand the page? So I can speak a little bit towards this unless you guys are more comfortable with it. But branding the Touchpoint, I think, is going to become easier and easier as we kind of develop the feature in general. I think right now, basically what happens is the Touchpoint works just the same as the registration form Touchpoint or the event page Touchpoint or confirmations, where your brand, your colors, your fonts are going to be pulled into that Touchpoint, right? So that's already awesome. We're already kind of starting you off on the right foot. Then it's going to be up to you as the designer to decide if you're going to be changing the background image of those different registration states, if you're going to be replacing logos, if you wanted to change the actual title, all those things, the color of the button and things like that are going to evolve with the product over time. Is there anything else that you guys specifically want to add to kind of rebranding that experience to the designer's liking?
Yeah,
I'll go first, if you don't mind. One thing that I'd like to add is that we've taken some great steps to make sure that the page is as close as we think we would like it to be. So we understand how the order of colors is loaded into Splash and the fonts, and we apply what we think is most likely what you are looking for. So it is our goal to get you 90% of the way there, and there's just some small tweaking for you to get it across the finish line.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah. The only thing I would add to that too, you might have seen it in my demo. I didn't call it out explicitly, but we do have your brand's logo that's able to be inserted on all those page states. And we very recently also built in custom background images for your header and your footer on those page states. So that also goes a really long way in branding that experience out too. So those are already underway.
Amazing. Cool. So, sorry, give me 1 second. I'm still looking through some of these questions. They're great. A lot of great questions about the difference between kind of the evolution of Zoom right now, obviously Zoom webinars versus Zoom meetings. I know that, our team's exploring in the future, potentially, those Zoom meetings embeds versus Zoom webinars. I think, if you guys want to talk just really to hit the nail on the head of the differences between what is embeddable currently in the tool, I think would be really great for those that join late potentially.
I guess I can take this, Perry. So we are very close to being able to support Zoom meetings. The good news is on the integration side, we are working very close to finishing our Zoom webinar support. Once we have completed embedding Zoom meetings, we will also look into embedding Zoom webinars, but we are not sure if this is supportable quite yet. And other than that, we are working on YouTube and Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Awesome.
To add to that a little bit too, something that I'm really excited about here, especially when it comes to Facebook Live and YouTube Live and Vimeo Live as well, is that those providers are really easy to use and to set up and support a lot of guests. But something that they don't do is that they don't actually allow you to see exactly who attended and capture that information, right? They just serve you those total views, total amount of people in the room. And what we're doing here is we're allowing you to know specific information about each guest and capture their check-in information. And something we'll be working on a little later down the line is being able to understand just how long a guest stayed, right? So the duration of their visit too, and we'll be able to also store that in our guest list as well.
So there are a couple general questions that are really common and easy to answer. So a little bit of a layout for me. The first one is again, where can you access more information on this? Definitely take a look at that resource widget. If you have minimized it, open that back up. That allows you to access the virtual event page guide. It answers a lot of the questions that you're answering right now in live time. Another question is, will this recording be available? Absolutely. We do make sure that we record all of these webinars. We're going to make sure that we edit it together and make it look all tidy and pretty and send it out to the masses so you can share it with your teams for anybody that didn't have the opportunity to join live. Is there anything else you guys want to say? I have one really good question that I want to close on, but it seems like everybody's been really excited about this. I think everybody needs it. I think that's kind of the main topic. I think just to reiterate, this is going to be free. It's part of the enterprise license. The Touchpoint isn't some extra add-on that you have to pay for. When it is released, it'll be free to everybody to access, which is really exciting. And, stick with us. We're going to continue to evolve it and improve the experience, both from the host side and the attendees perspective. A lot of those great ideas that are coming through in your questions are things that we're already considering and testing on our end. So be excited about the evolution there. I think to close this out, and I know there are more questions coming in, I promise that we're going to do our best to follow up with your teams via email, because these are awesome. They're also great product recommendations moving forward. But I will say there's this one question that keeps coming up. When is this going to be available, right? When can I get access to it? So the best news is that we're turning on this virtual event page Touchpoint in the next month or so. So any of your Splash events can become virtual event with connected data around that time frame, which is really exciting. So hopefully that answers a lot of your questions. You're going to get an email when we actually release it, and it is live in your specific account. So be on the lookout for that. In the meantime, I would say we should promote the virtual event themes that exist in the theme library right now. That allows you to access video blocks that are able to be, you can replace the embed with your live stream. I think those are a great resource to use in the interim until this is released to the masses. But like I said, I'm a bit of a nerd here at Splash, but internally we've been really jazzed about this and really excited. So I want to thank, our hosts, Harry and Mike, part of the product team. Everybody on the product team and everybody on our dev team does an outstanding job working around the clock, especially nowadays, to get this out to the world. So we're really excited about it. But thank you so much for those of you that have joined live. We always, do our best to make sure that these webinars are as engaging as possible. And we're already excited about the next one. So take care, enjoy the weekends, be safe. We'll see you next time. Thank you.